This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm joined by legendary cutman Jacob "Stitch" Duran here in sunny Texas today. Jacob, first and foremost, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. Just got into town a while ago, and it's nice to be here for another event.
Obviously, it's been a busy period for yourself. We'll come on to the small rematch that just took place this past weekend, but talked about the reason you're here now. Jesse Vargas versus Mikey Garcia. You've been working with Jesse. What should we expect from him on Saturday?
Oh yeah, toe-to-toe fight, no doubt about it. You know, when you get two Mexicans going at it, especially at this level of competition, it's going to be a war. You know, so me as my job, I know I have to prepare for the worst case scenario, and whatever happens, happens.
I was going to say, what are your thoughts with regards to the challenge Mikey Garcia will present to Jesse? Obviously, people are still wondering, can he operate at 147? Is he too small? And obviously, Jesse's still in himself a world-level fighter, but he's up against one of the most skilled fighters in the sport. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, of course, skills goes a long ways, no doubt about it, but so does, heart and soul. So, like I say, that's why this one, I can't pick him. I don't want to pick him, but I know in my position, that it's going to be a toe-to-toe fight, no doubt about it.
Who do you think there's more pressure on at this stage? Obviously, Mikey looking to bounce back from that Errol Spence defeat, and you've got Jesse, who was going to move up to 154 before this fight was presented to him, and still has those ambitions to challenge for another world title. Who's there more pressure on?
Well, I don't know. I think on both of them. It's just the matter of who's going to climb to the top after this one. Whoever wins, it's an important fight for both of them. For future career fights. So I think the pressure is on both of them. Like I say, this is a fight where I can't pick them, but that's why you got two great fighters going at it.
What's Jesse been looking like in camp? What exactly has he been trying to work on to navigate around the skill set which Mikey Garcia will pose on tomorrow night?
Well, I really didn't show up to the camps. I actually only went there 2 days. I was in Florida for the bare knuckle fights and working with Tyson Fury, and so I went to camp a couple days, but the 2 days that I saw him work, first thing I mentioned is, from the last time I saw you, I just saw your speed pick up, so that's a good point on his side.
Obviously a brilliant card on Saturday night. Just get your thoughts on a couple of ones. The one below, Calio 5 versus Roman Gonzalez, Chocolatito, as everybody calls him. What are your thoughts on that one, Stitch?
Man, I just found out who's fighting. Normally these kind of things, especially the busy week I had last week, but Chocolatito's of course one of my favorites, but it's a stacked card, it's a good card to represent a lot of the Latino fighters, and we'll see what happens, man.
Someone who is also on the card, Joseph Parker, spent time in and around Tyson previously. You've just been with. How excited are you to maybe see him get back into heavyweight mix after his spider bite and see where he can progress with his career now?
Yeah, well, also I'll be working with Joseph Parker also, so I just saw him. First guy I saw when I walked into the lobby, and he gave me a kiss on the cheek, but to me it's a pleasure working with Joseph and Jesse Vargas, so it should be a fun night for me tomorrow.
A busy man, Stitch. How do you find the time to work with all of these different athletes and fighters across various sports?
Hey, it's not that hard, bro. It's just a weekend job for me, and Monday through Thursday I spend time with my family, and everything is pretty systematic, and a fighter's a fighter and a cut's a cut, and that's the way I look at them.
Obviously now we've got to touch on the past weekend. You've had a lot of time to reflect now. Well, say a lot. You've had about 5-6 days to reflect. I'm sure you've had a bit of partying with the camp, but now that everything's settled down a little bit, what's your reflection on Tyson's victory over Deontay Wilder?
Yeah, it was totally impressive. And no, I didn't party. After the fights, I actually when Tyson started singing, I figured, it's his time, it's his family's time, and I saw him in the dressing room, and I thanked him for everything, and just go out there and enjoy yourself, and you should. But I was totally impressed, but the thing is, I came in his last 2 weeks of training, so I got to see him start to peak. And as he was sparring, everything that he did in the ring, he actually did in the fight. So props go to Sugar Hill and Andy Lee for setting up a game plan, but also double props to Tyson Fury for following that game plan. But that third round, I just kind of knew that Deontay Wilder was going to knock him out. Two different levels. The size made a big difference. There's too many variables that Tyson Fury had that Deontay Wilder didn't have, and I always told people, I look at Deontay Wilder had two ways of winning, by decision and knockout. Deontay Wilder only had one choice of winning, that was by knockout.
I know you said to me before you saw what Tyson was working on in the camp, and nobody should be surprised to see him go after Deontay and stop him. But still, probably 99.9% of people in the world probably never anticipated the fight to play out the way that it did. Was there anything Tyson did in the fight that surprised you because he was that good?
The discipline that he stayed with, that's what surprised me. And not that it surprised me, but, you know, he come in with additional weight. Was a big benefit to him because Deontay Wilder's a big man. But he wasn't a big man when he was standing next to Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury just looked so much bigger than him.
Obviously, after the fight, Deontay Wilder came out and said a few things. Firstly, what did you make of him disagreeing with his corner throwing him a towel?
Yeah, I thought that was, you know, disrespectful, number one. Not even knowing that, you know, what he had said, all the interviews I did after the fight, first thing I said is that he needs to take some time off because the type of shots that he was taking create long-term injuries, and that was my concern. And if it would have continued, and if Mark really didn't throw out the towel, and you know, he would have fought with heart and soul. Said he wanted to go out in the shield, but that could have been long-term damage.
Obviously, in Deontay's case as well. Afterwards, he mentioned his costume weighing best part of over 40 pounds on his ring walk. What did you make of those comments once again?
You know, it's funny. As I was flying over here, I just. He did an interview in 2018 with Joe Rogan where it says, you know, he trains with 40 pounds and all that. But, you know, as I break down the game itself, for them to spend that much time creating that type of outfit just kind of took them away from their concentration of actually fighting. So was it more for the entertainment value, or did he have the discipline to go out there and fight? It showed probably on the walkout.
Deontay's obviously come out as well and said he's going to exercise that third fight. What are your thoughts on Deontay doing so?
Well, I think you'll get the same results. You know, Tyson Fury, his confidence level just went up, and if it's going to happen within 6 months, then you look at the shell shock factor, the mental game. If he takes another shot, a hard shot from Tyson Fury right off the bat, where's that going to put him? Boxing skills, nobody's going to show him how to beat Tyson Fury within 6 months, within a 1 year period. So I expect the same thing.
Now, one thing I did want to ask you, something that I've only saw over the past probably a day or so, there's some rumours and some conspiracy theories suggesting that Tyson's gloves had been tampered with. There's a video going around that shows his glove looks a little floppy as he went to punch Wilder and pulled it back.
For this fight?
For this fight, yeah, that just took place. What are your thoughts on that?
I'll give you the facts. It wouldn't mean no thoughts. You know, the Nevada State Athletic Commission is one of the best commissions in the world, and they handle the gloves until it's time for them to put them on. So there was no tampering whatsoever. I was there, and you know, that was all just a big myth. So dispel those myths, those rumors. It didn't happen. You know, that's why you have the inspectors there to make sure that everything is followed within the guidelines, and none of that happened. But yeah, it's good for discussion.
I mean, how disappointing is it that something like that has been brought up, and it will start to create discussion? People will be asked about it, and it may put a little bit of a black stain on Tyson's performance.
Nah, it's going to fade away. You know, it's not even true, not even close to being true. Maybe it's the tough shots that he hit him with that kind of loosen up the glove, you know. And I'm just saying that just in kidding, but there was none of that ever happened. He's not that kind of guy, and you know, I worked with Emmanuel Stewart for 12 years with Vladimir Klitschko. Sugar Hill follows the same format. Andi Lee follows the same format. I've worked with both of them, and they don't do that. They just, you know, they're good character people, good professional people, and they just don't do that. They don't need to.
Just a word on Andi Lee as well. Obviously, he's joined the camp. How much of an influence did he have during Tyson's period with the Kronk gym?
Oh, a lot of, you know, just the experience factor of being with Emmanuel Stewart is number one. That comes a long ways, and you know, every time Vladimir fought, then Andi fought, and I'd work with him, and just to see him in the gym brought a lot of joy to me. You know, but it was a good corner. You know, you talk about the good corner with you know, myself and Sugar Hill and Andi Lee and Capetillo. It was a top corner, but you look at the other corner, and I was a little disappointed. I always look and see who the cut man is. It shows me the caliber of corner that they're going to have, and I didn't see a cut man. And to me, you know, that's a plus on our side.
Final thing before I do let you go and enjoy the rest of your day and the weigh-in. Obviously, there was some talks about the possible Joshua Fury fight taking place if something could have been agreed. If something is agreed at some point, whether it's this year or next, how big is that fight with regards to any other fight that you've been a part of?
Yeah, it's going to be like Klitschko when he fought Joshua. Wembley Stadium, 90,000 people sold out. it's going to be that type of fight, you know. But I think just the exception now that they're both from the UK, it's going to make it that much more enticing, and I'd love to go back over there.
Well, Stitcher, hopefully we will see you soon, and I'm going to leave you to enjoy your day, like I say. Best of luck for Saturday, and I'll speak to you soon. Thank you for speaking to Boxing Social once again.
Of course, man. It's always a pleasure. You do a good job. Keep it up.
Thank you.